Also, Sue Decker, the president of Yahoo.
Welcome back to Squawk Box, everyone. Again, I'm Becky Quick, and we are live in Davos at the World Economic Forum. Right now, we're joined by a special guest, Sue Decker, who's the president of Yahoo. And Sue, we've been talking an awful lot about technology this morning, trying to figure out where things are headed. And right now, I should preface this by saying Yahoo's in a quiet period right now, so you can't talk specifics about the business, but there has been an awful lot of speculation in the media recently about some potential changes that could be coming. What can you tell us about any of that?
Well, I could just say that we're in the midst of a multi-year transformation of Yahoo. We've talked a little bit about that publicly, but our main focus is trying to really put our resources behind our three big strategic bets, and those are to become the leading starting point for the most consumers, to become the must-buy for the most advertisers, and to develop the world's leading advertising platforms and consumer platforms. So those are the three things we're focused on, and we're taking resources out of some areas, we're shutting down other things, and we're really putting our metal behind those three big bets because they're areas we think we can really win for Yahoo and for consumers and advertisers.
And January 29th is when you report your earnings. You'll have more on all of that then?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay.
Next week.
While you're here in Davos, there's been an awful lot of talk about the future of the internet, the future of technology. What's the next big thing? Well, what would you say the next big thing's going to be?
I think the next big thing is going to be all around being more open. There's so much content out there now and services that have just grown with explosive growth over the last 10 years. But the next big wave we think that will really spark much more relevant information for consumers and for advertisers is a much more open platform so that we can tap the innovation of the world at large.
And there are a lot of people who think, okay, open platform. What's that mean to somebody who doesn't understand all the nuts and bolts of what's happening?
Sure. Well, just get one example. In mobile, we recently announced an open platform for widgets, and eBay and MTV and MySpace are among the first that created the widgets. So these widgets are going to remember and have context of what consumers have done before. So it makes the whole process simpler, and it also opens up to many, many other developers, whether they're individuals or other companies, to develop content and services.
When you start talking about open, it almost makes it sound as if people who used to be your competitors are going to end up being your partners. Is that the case? Has that been happening?
Well, the web is filled with that co-opetition. That, ultimately, what will be good for consumers is if we have the most relevant services. We want to be really indispensable to consumers and advertisers. So in the old theory of if you love something, let it free, it'll come back to you if it finds what it wants. We want to be that starting point for consumers every single day. We want to be that cup of coffee, that Starbucks experience, and if they find what they're looking for on Yahoo, that's great. They'll find it if we're open to all different services.
And is that a message that's tough to get across when you're not a startup anymore? You guys are a big company at this point, a lot of people working for you. How do you get that message across through all those layers?
Well, I think the fact that we are so large, that we have the world's leading internet service, 500 million people coming to us every month out of 1 billion people that use the internet, is really where the great opportunity is. We have this massive scale, and as the internet's become more complex, we're trying to simplify that experience by inviting others to develop and working on the platform layer.
Where's your biggest competition come from? Does it come from the big players like a Microsoft and a Google, or are you more worried about what's being developed from the ground levels up, new things that are coming out every day?
We stay paranoid all around, 360 degrees. We think there's competition everywhere, but that's been part of our life from the very beginning. The competitors differ by market, they differ by service. At the end of the day, Yahoo's continued to prosper and grow by partnering well and doing the right thing for consumers to make ourselves as indispensable as possible.
All right, Sue, I want to thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Sue Decker, again, who's the president of Yahoo. And guys, I'll toss it back to you in the studio.
All right, great lineup today, Becky, and a lot more coming from back in Davos, Switzerland.